Hi, hello, hello, hi, and welcome to all our hearts and minds. Thank you again for tuning in. We're here to discuss all things that have been on our hearts and minds, the good, the bad, the concerning and uplifting, or just straight talk. We're your hosts, Kimmy, our passionate heart.
Yeah, yeah.
Then there's me, Jeanette, our mind and chronic overthinker. Let's get into it.
We shall.
Okay, we are back again this week.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just jump into it. How was your week? Let's get into the checkup. What's going on?
Nothing much, another week has gone. Thank God.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it was kind of busy. It was kind of a busier week for me. Yeah, found out some things, learned some things,
Mm-hmm.
which is always good. But I can't complain, to be quite honest. And you know what? I love it. I love that I can't complain. It's awesome. How about you? How was your week?
It was a pretty good week. Not too crazy. So just give thanks. I got to
Mm-hmm.
spend some time with my little baby nephew yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
He's such a cutie. He's
So
1 month,
good.
and it's so fascinating seeing a newborn figure out life.
Yeah, isn't it? Isn't it
It's a
though?
good perspective. Yeah, so gonna be good. And next week I'm gonna be going to people. A lot of people listening maybe don't know if you're not from our area, not you're not from Canada or the Ontario region. We have this place called we all know about Niagara Falls, but there's also a place in the Niagara region called Niagara on the Lake.
Mm-hmm. Very nice.
Very nice, very much known for it's more of that's kind of where I would say Ontario's wine hub. If you talk about Ontario wine, you're
Mm-hmm.
more than likely talking about that area. So I'm going to be going there for a little work thing. So not it's I know nothing not going to be nothing too crazy, but it's out of the ordinary. So
Yeah. And it's a nice, nice place to be. Less scenic route. So
yeah, so I'm gonna drive there.
mm-hmm.
So that'd be nice too. So just to drive around.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it sounds like
It's better than being in a boring office. I'll tell you
that's
that.
true. That's a perfect perspective. No, I'm not. At least that is. I'm looking forward to at least that. At least even though it is a work thing, but it's going to be outside of the office, different scenery, which is always good. You just got to
Mm-hmm.
roll with the punches. It's lots of corporate life. What you
Yep.
gonna do?
That's what it is. That's how it rolls, in the corporate world. It's kind of, you have to go with the punches, man. You just really have to roll with them. You never know. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so sounds like we're doing all right, which I'm glad to hear.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we'll just jump into the headlines. And
Yeah. Tell them how this is gonna be this show. How
oh,
we're
this
gonna
week we're
rock
just
this
gonna do
show.
kind of like a relaxed kind of show. No segments, shoot the shit. Just
Right?
cover
Talk about
topics on
some
the headlines and
things.
stuff like that. Yeah, talk about some things. So just yeah, we won't be doing all the segments, but we'll just
Exactly.
be
Yeah.
covering a bunch of topics and yeah. So we'll just jump into the topics, and I wanted to start with Little Dirk. I saw on the news, or you told me, and then I had to kind of look
Mm-hmm.
it up. About Lil Durk being arrested for murder for hire. Just looking up. I know I saw the name yesterday. I don't remember his name, but I'm looking it up again.
He's
He's,
one of those younger rappers.
yeah,
Sorry, I
he is,
can't.
and he's based in Chicago. I think the main
Mm-hmm.
thing you should know is that he is a Chicago rapper,
Mm-hmm.
and Chicago is a hub for a lot of gang wars in the
Mm-hmm.
last. For
Mm-hmm.
me, I don't know how. Listen, it's probably been going on for a long, long time, but in
I'd say
terms
at
of it,
least 20 years.
right?
About
But it's being
20.
covered. How everybody, the world, got to know it was through DJ Academics, and that if people wonder why DJ Academics is really famous, that was his niche corner of the world, as
Mm-hmm.
he brought that to news
Mm-hmm.
to the internet, and the whole world find out everything about the Chicago gang wars. So that's what I was
Yep.
going to say. Maybe the last 10 years, where everybody knows about it. But to your point, it's probably been going on for years, and
At
so
least steady. At least I would say at least 15, maybe no more than 20, but at least 15. I think Chicago was a nice place at one point. but different wars took over, street wars. You know what I could never understand with a street war? Like, if the government says so, he'll take the whole block. So it's like, what are you fighting for? Like, I
Right? If they
couldn't
wanted to take
fight.
it, yeah, it's true. The government
Like,
wanted
if
to
the
take it
government
over.
wanted to take the whole block, guess what? He will.
Well, and that's also why it's interesting where, you know, we talk about
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
systemic racism and systemic discrimination. That's
Mm-hmm.
one of the things that they do is they segregate. And Chicago is actually known for being a
Yeah.
segregated city. And maybe, you know, I think it's built into the history, and maybe that's where it is. It does have a long history of not just gang wars but even organized crime at some point. So
Yes.
it's it's a very unique city, let's put it that way,
It
when
is,
it
but
comes to crime, and it's not
very
just in
much.
the black community.
Yeah. Yeah. Even though
um
it's called, what is it, Chirac?
yeah, now it's Chirac, yeah, because of the
Yeah.
gang wars.
But even to be compared to that, like, oh my goodness, it's really taken over the city. Like, even on the good, on the better parts of the city as well. I
yeah.
think more of the tourist parts of the
Oh well,
city
they're going to
is
protect the money.
is definitely, yeah. You're gonna protect the money,
Yeah, remember I talked
definitely.
about that this year on one of the episodes. I went to Chicago. Um,
Yes, that young
and
man, young
yes, my
man.
Uber driver who was a young
Yeah.
man who was caught up in this life, and he kind of gave it. He was trying to make an honest living because
Mhm.
he saw people die. He saw his father go to jail.
Mhm.
But it's so hard. It's literally he's a big exception to the rule. It's
Mhm.
really not conducive growing up there as a young man to go and get an education and have the go on the straight and narrow, as they say, versus getting
Mhm.
into gang life.
Mhm.
But that's a bigger topic that we can cover. But anyway, Lil Durk,
Back to Dirks.
we have to
We have
bring
to
it
give
back
some
to
background to where Dirks is coming from, because
yeah,
he's
yeah.
coming from
But
Nim
it's
Street
true.
right
Good
there. He's
context.
coming
That's
from Nim
true.
Street.
But people who know Lil Durk, King Von, who was murdered a few years back, they were really close friends and close associates. And he was arrested this week in Florida for, and he's being held by U.S. Marshals.
Marshals,
Uh,
people, Marshals. Yeah, we're calling up
yep.
the big
And
boys.
so they arrested him for as a murder for hire, um, with for killing another rapper, or he hired somebody to kill another rapper called named Quando Rondo.
Hmm.
Um,
Supposedly, he had something to do with King Von's death.
yes, exactly. So Quando Rondo allegedly was involved in the death of King Von, like I mentioned, who is very close to another Chicago rapper that's very close with Lil Durk. So that's kind
Hmm.
of the circulation. And I don't know, this is messy. I was trying to read like what evidence they have, like outside of the obvious like hip hop wars, they still need evidence to go and arrest him, right? Like, so
Hmm.
somebody had to have said something or they saw something. And so I was wondering, that's kind of one that I wanted to see. But it says, according to the Los Angeles Times, Dirk was accused of ordering the murder of the rapper. In 2022, Rondo and his cousin were shot at near the Beverly Center Mall in Los Angeles. Three gunmen reportedly stepped out of the vehicle wearing ski masks while um, Rondo and his cousin were at the gas station. So they were murdered in LA. The FBI
Hmm.
is involved. Obviously,
And you
U.S.
know about
Marshals.
the FBI. You know
The
their
FBI,
success rate.
FBI
Jeez, man.
claimed that Dirk put a bounty on Rondo after an associate of Rondo killed King Von, who was affiliated with Dirk's group, Only the Family, which and they talk about Von being shot by um Lil Tim during an altercation.
Hmm.
And Tim was initially charged, but the case was dismissed. So there's a lot of people unfinished business here. That gang
Lots,
life.
lots and lots and lots. Lots of unfinished business. And what's sad is that I really feel like with Little Dirk, I don't know if he really meant to be in this life that he's
I know
in.
he's like a walking conundrum. If you
Yeah,
really like,
right? Like
Mhm.
that's what I was getting from him. And I think he is really talented.
Yeah,
However, I think, when you're caught up in these streets, man, your life has an expiry date. You know what I
mm,
mean? Like that's what we see. You're caught up in these gang wars. Little Dirk, I don't know what's gonna go on with you. I hope to God they don't have, but the FBI is involved with this bitch. Like for real,
mm.
for real. Like every time I hear FBI, I'm like, yeah, okay, it's a wraps. It's a wraps. Like they've picked you up already. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not gonna pick you up. They're not gonna pounce until they have the evidence that they need. I, I don't know.
So they
I really
said,
hope he doesn't. I
yeah,
don't
he's
know.
in deep doo doo.
Like
Let's put
real deep, like
it.
really deep, bro. Like it's it's really
He's
sad.
32. He's 32 years old. This stuff happened when he like the murder. He's probably been in this life
Hmm.
since he was a teen. His career really took off a little bit. Like I would say, like 5 years ago, a
Mid
little bit
20s.
before. Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, and this is tragic. So they said he was there was a FBI affidavit said that Lil Durk had been attempting to flee the US, to at least to he booked flights to at least three international countries, and that
Wow.
was probably why they came in and arrested him in Florida, because he was
Yeah.
going to countries where the US didn't have jurisdiction to.
Yeah.
So it was
Can't
Italy.
extradite you.
Exactly. Italy,
Hmm.
Switzerland, and the United Arab Emirates, UAE.
So he took a page out of what's his name that is in Bali? What's his name?
Oh, what's his face?
What's his
Russell
face?
Simmons. Russell
Russell
Simmons.
Simmons. So, okay, so he put everybody on game with that. Okay. Uh-huh. I see it.
Mm.
Yeah, because he
So,
made sure he went to a place where you can't be extradited. So, yeah, well, they
and it's
pounced.
so funny. I just recently saw him get he so the a federal indictment was unveiled. I think they recently unveiled a federal indictment in Los Angeles charging five of their men affiliated with OTF, which is the group Only the Family, for the murder for hire plot, alleging that they conspired to track, stalk, and attempt to kill a rapper identified as TB.
Wow.
So again, this is FBI business. This is not no Chicago police business. This is FBI.
No, and
So
they
it's in.
wait to take you in. So when they take you in,
Mm,
they have enough information to put you away for a minute. You know.
yep.
So I really hope that he. But it seems like they're really cracking down on rappers that are involved with nefarious things, and it's
Yeah,
like,
like Young Thug,
yeah,
who I
exactly,
think
young
is
son
we.
going on like every minute. Like when's it done? What?
Yeah, we. I don't know if we talked about it, but maybe we could talk about it next week. Is that's I think that's gonna come out as a mistrial. I don't
Yeah,
think
I
he's
think
gonna.
so. He hired some really good lawyers. He did. He hired some really good lawyers that found a lot of loopholes. And But yeah, I'm noticing a trend here.
Yeah, that's true, and it's like, and it almost makes you wonder. It's like, yeah, okay, like listen, a crime is a crime. So
Right?
that's my position. I'm not biased towards anything, but I'm also like, if I ain't got nothing else better to investigate, I'm
They
just saying, like,
ain't got nothing else to do, and
because
that's the.
here's my point of view. Yes, crime is crime, and
Hmm.
if you do a crime, especially if you're killing innocent people,
Hmm. Hmm.
you should be tried and convicted and all of that's involved in that.
Hmm.
However, when it comes to gang life, let's put
Hmm.
it that way, crime life, organized crime, gang crime, whatever, everybody that's involved in that life made a
Hmm.
decision to be in that life. Am I wrong?
No, you're not.
They know the
100%.
risks when you get into organized crime, no matter what level of organization.
Yeah,
There's a risk involved with that,
a high risk.
very high risk. And so that's why, me personally, every life has a value, but certain choices that you make, it's like people who um get like really lost into drugs.
Mhm.
Nobody deserves. We don't want them. And everybody. There's somebody that loves them and who will miss them. But there's
Mhm.
certain choices you make by getting deep into certain lifestyles where your lifespan can shorten.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
It
that's what
can
we're
be
seeing.
argued that there are, like in Chirac, they call it Chirac. Like, come on, when you're living in that environment, right?
Hmm.
Your
Hmm.
likelihood of going that direction is higher. It's all around you,
Hmm.
right? And so when you can remove yourself from that environment and change it into a different environment where you can thrive, then you have a stronger future.
Yeah.
However, I'm not giving a blight to nobody because it is a choice. And I agree with you 100% on that. You can decide to go a different way, right? But the likelihood of them falling to that pressure is higher because of where they are. Like the Uber driver, right? Like he is thriving to get out of the area to see more of life, right? And there are some that will never thrive for that because all they know is what's comfortable. What they know is comfortable, right? And so even if it means getting involved with the gang because maybe, all of your friends are in a gang, I'm not giving an excuse, but I will say that I can see how your environment plays a part in the direction that you take in your life. And with Little Dirk, like honestly, all these thug rappers, they went to the hood to find these rappers. And these rappers were already doing dirt and already had their own drama going on way before. Yeah, and so I can see how some of these young men, they go in a path that they really shouldn't, and whether it's all that they see or not, like they should thrive for better and come out of the rap game. Like these um music execs and stuff like that, and these labels, they go to the hood, they look for these thugs who are already doing the do.
Mm,
And
that's
so,
true. That's true.
right, and so what do we expect? And so now we have Young Thug and his trial, now Dirk's gonna be on. It's a whole pile of mess. Like, how do you go to the hood looking for thugs, looking for gangsters, and they're rapping their life and it's real? This is not a joke or make believe. So anyhow, I do wish the best for Little Dirk. I think he was just trying to avenge his friend's death, and I get that, but this is not the way, bro. This is not the
Mm.
way, and you're gonna find out today. You're gonna find out this is not the way. So I
Yeah,
mean,
we'll stay tuned to see what how this goes. But the mere fact that the FBI is involved is
it don't look
very
good.
scary. Very scary.
It don't look good. Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So move on from Dirk.
Yeah.
Um. So election is coming up. The U.S. election is coming up. So there's lots of coverage, lots of things happening. Things are going climaxing, as they
Mhm.
say, before
Mhm.
the actual time for the actual day or final day, because early voting already started. But so in Kamala Harris and the Democrats held a rally in Houston, and as rumored, Beyonce was there, her mother was there, Kelly Rowland was there. I'm trying to think if there was anybody else that came on stage in Houston. I mean, if there was, there probably was, but you know what the news covered.
Yeah, it just
And
seems like one big party. But
it
go
was
on.
it was yeah, somebody said, so you said that somebody made that, oh, it was Trump.
One big party.
Trump made that comment. So something to those, I don't remember the exact words, but he said Kamala's don't quote me on this, people, but essentially he said it, and the way he said it,
Right?
Kamala is having a party with Beyonce, something like
Right?
that. So everybody was talking about that, a lot of excitement. at the rally. But I think uh you know, what was interesting is obviously there's going to be a lot of energy, and it's like, is there a lot of energy because Beyonce is there, or if it's because Vice President Kamala or whatever? But anyway, I really like the angle that Beyonce took. Beyonce is a person of very few words, as we all
Uh-huh.
know,
Yeah.
and so she was on brand in that, and she,
Mhm.
just said, I'm here to support Harris as a mother, not as anything else that you know me as, and kind of went on with her brief speech. And then obviously Kelly went on a tear. I was like, Kelly girl,
Right?
Kelly, I like this for you. Kelly had a lot of passion, and I think it was namely on the freedom, on the Roe versus Wade thing. I think if
Mhm.
I were to sum it up, that's really what's the word, at the core of the message, I would
Mhm.
say, of what she said at the rally. Of course, they both look great. People didn't like Kelly was wearing a suit from Fear of God. It's very boxy. It's very boxy, baggy
Mhm.
style is very
Mhm.
much in. But I think if she, I have to talk about the outfits. I'm sorry. Yes, it's political politics, and but we
Mhm.
know we've heard all the angles at this point, so we don't need to get so deep into the politics. It's just the event. I'm just
What
talking about the event and
politics?
who was there, right?
Sorry, I've yet to see politics. You keep talking about what politics? I haven't seen any politics. I see a lot of celebrities like coming out and
Yeah,
doing this. Like I don't see actual policies or politics going on. So I don't know about that, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
we all,
See the outfits, yeah, because that's what this is turned into.
mhm.
That's what this is turned into. For me, it's all about.
Yeah, I also feel like this endorsing thing is a very uniquely American thing.
Yeah,
Endorsing,
like
like
it's really
whether it's
become a big
celebrity
thing,
endorsing, political endorsing, business endorsing, it's very much something that is unique to the United States. I'd love to hear what our American listeners think of that, but I don't think that a celebrity should be able to tell
right?
you or sway you into
As to who to
voting
vote for, like really,
as to who to vote for, right? But it's something very uniquely American. Both the parties do it, but I think it's just generally American politics. But yeah, so she was there. She looked great. Beyonce kept it simple. Kelly was very much passionate about her rights as a woman to do what she wants with her body. It was just great to see them there together. It was rumored that the sorry, Michelle, the third
hmm
Destiny's Child member, was supposed to be there too, but I can't remember. I don't remember. I didn't see exactly what happened with her in appearing as well. Um, but I'll just say what Kelly said that's been making the rounds. And I'm just saying, Kelly was very passionate. It's rare. You don't see Kelly. Kelly's a very keen and cool, calm, cool, and collected person. But
usually, yes.
Kelly had a lot of emotion, and I think a lot of people were talking about that. Um.
Unless you try to push her out the way, then
Oh, yeah.
right,
Now, unless she's on the red carpet and you're trying to bully her, then that's
right,
going to be a problem. Which
we're
nobody
gonna
should be
have
doing
some
that.
problems.
Yeah, nobody should
Yeah,
be doing that anyway.
right.
Um, a moment. So I'll just say the quick thing, and then we'll move on. A moment
hmm
when we grab. This is a moment where we grab back the pen from those who are trying to write an American story of misogyny and racism. We are grabbing back the pen from those who are trying to write an American story that would deny the right for women to make our own decisions about our bodies. Grabbing back the pen to write a new American story with Democratic nominees, to write a new American story. Just leave it there. And then she went on to endorse Kamala and Tim Walz.
Hmm.
So Kelly, I like when Kelly kind of is upfront and confident with herself. And she was, yeah, sorry, like I was saying before, she was wearing the Fear of God suit, which is very boxy, which it would could have been nice because I've seen the
hmm
original style of it if she wore it out, either wore it open or she wore it with if she cinched the belt. But
Mhm.
she was standing on business, I think. So now I kind
Yeah.
of get it.
Yeah.
And Beyonce was wearing a I don't remember if it's Chanel. It looks like a Chanel cut, but if it's not Chanel, pretty much a blazer dress, mini. I would call it a mini skirt, with heels, and she kept it simple with that. And her hair was the traditional Beyonce honey blonde. She looked great, but she was very. I think even though Beyonce doesn't want to be the star attraction, it's hard for her not to just by showing up and going on the mic.
Right?
But
That's the truth.
she was very much being, or what she was portraying was very humble and simple.
Mhm.
And I think that's what she wanted. Her message should be simple and to the point and not get lost in the sauce. So yeah. All right.
Mhm.
Next we were going to talk about someone calling CPS on Cardi B.
Can you imagine these
And
people?
CP, it's one thing for them to do that. That's not the news. But the CPS actually showed up at her house,
Right?
which is crazy.
Big time crazy. And the sad part is I think that when they did, she was in the hospital. But just these crazy ass people, like I don't understand. What would make you think that that's okay? That's funny. That's not a
That
prank.
that is very very much weird.
You're
um,
insane. What are you doing? If I ever caught the name of that person, it's a done deal. And she said the same thing. She said, "Listen, if you're a guy, Offset's coming after you. If you're a girl, me and my sister are gonna mash you up
mm,
because how dare you? People lose kids that way. You know what
mm-hmm.
I'm saying? And it's like, like I feel like the humor has taken like a dark turn. How is this funny? Anybody? Like, how is this funny?
Yeah, and I, in one hand, I was like, when I first heard this story, I was like, listen, I know CPS has to take every call seriously. That is the point for child protective services. They have to look
Yeah.
out for children, and every concern or red flag is something to be investigated. However, I think it is very odd because anybody, like celebrities, are public figures. They have fans, they have haters, and they have lots of haters.
Lot.
As much fans as somebody might have, they have maybe 10 times the haters. And then maybe a very small percentage, a small insane psychotic percentage might do something like this,
Right?
right? And so I think it's weird that, or maybe they didn't know her, because I think it would be very odd for, if somebody called to report Cardi B and maybe they used her real name. It's easy to find out her
Right?
real
Well, she
name.
tells everybody, all the,
Yeah, Bel
yeah.
Khalees. Yeah, she could give her. They can give the government name, and maybe the person on the phone won't know that it's that Cardi B character that they hear, they see. And Cardi is not a niche. She is literally, she's a list. I'm gonna like,
Um,
you can't.
so what are we doing here? Are you really like you're really pulling those type of stunts on an A-lister? Like, first of all, how would you know? How would you know? No, the only type of person that could pull that type of stunt, okay, should be somebody that actually knows her.
Right.
Like, so this is supposed to be a joke. This is supposed to be funny. This is supposed to be a stunt.
Mm.
How? I don't know. Okay, like
We're
for
trying to
real.
figure that out. Yeah, because yeah, I just feel like even for CPS, like I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt that they didn't know it was a celebrity.
No, and they
That's
had to do their due diligence whether it
yes.
is a celebrity,
But I
right?
just feel like their due diligence, if they know it's a celebrity, is to, I don't know, just can't just be showing up at their house, because I think she's a very public person. Sure, her kids are on. You see her kids a lot. Like
Hmm.
even if they did their, just like they could. We're talking about Lil Durk and rappers getting arrested. Just like the FBI is going on Instagram and social media to pick up these guys,
Right?
they could go on social media to establish that she's actually a very good mother,
Yeah,
and she
and
has
has
more
her
than
kids with
enough.
her a lot of the time.
She has, like
So
you said, she has nannies, she has staff, like she's like she has a, sure, she lives with her family. Like I feel like they could
she
have saved the
can always
embarrassment.
from the get go, Cardi has always shown herself as being somebody who's family oriented.
Yes, that's what
So,
I'm
with
saying.
that being said, her children are set. Like
That's all I'm
between the
saying.
grandma, the auntie, the uncle, her grandmother, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a whole lot of people to, and if there wasn't that, she has enough money where she can hire the correct staff to make
Mm,
sure that her kids are okay. So
mm,
I like to pull that type of, it has to be a stunt. If this was supposed to be real, then that's a real backstab because they'd have to be close to her
mm,
to actually be filing a real complaint. Now, here's the thing is that I've noticed that there's a lot of people that will cry wolf. You know what I mean?
mm.
And when you do this, the validity of somebody else's claims are going to be more
Yeah, that's
investigated
yes.
just
It's
because
messed up. It's a
of
waste of
nonsense
resources.
like it's just stupid. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just stupid altogether. There's no rhyme or reason to it for me, at least. So, Cardi girl, I think that they saw you were vulnerable. Like I was telling you before, was
Mm,
that I think that she's vulnerable because now she's a single mom. She's doesn't have Offset there to protect her readily, or at least that's what people think. I'm not
yeah.
saying that it's true. I'm
Mm,
just thinking, why would you pull that stunt?
mm.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Very odd.
why?
Yeah.
That's a lot. Why didn't you do that when Offset was around? What before she said that she's divorced and that she's divorcing him, she's gonna be a single mom of three. Like before all of that, why didn't anybody else pull that stunt before? Not that it's a good stunt or whatever they were trying to do, but why
Mm,
didn't it ever happen when Offset was around? Is it because some people would see her as being vulnerable because she is a single mom? I don't know. I don't know. But for me, it just seems a little sketchy and overall just dangerous. Like, that's not something you should pull stunts with. Like, it just not.
yeah.
It's not funny to me. And I'm sure it wasn't funny to her children who were being interviewed by strangers. Okay? So, like, when you're playing these type of games, understand you can actually traumatize people with these type of games. You know what
Mm,
I'm saying? So sad, but you know what? I think Cardi's strong, and she has a strong support system around her to help her through that. So I
yeah.
think she'll be all right.
She'll be all right, but it's annoying. Um.
And just simply stupid. It's just
So
stupid. Like, come on, man.
yeah, like who are you? I don't even want to
Like,
get
what
into the
happened to
stand.
Nikki Nine Doors? Like, what kind of, maybe I'm a little old school up in this, but like,
Well, she lives in a gated mansion, as she
okay,
said. So
like come on, like do something else. Throw some eggs at her mansion. Stop, like don't be calling the boy them after her. Like, and I do look at Children's Aid Society sometimes as the boydom because
yeah.
look, she's a good mother and she takes care of her children. Yet she has people coming, to her house to now talk to her about her children. Like, come on, man, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Cardi girl, I don't know. These people are crazy out here, girl.
They're crazy. All right, and then so a big thing event happened. We didn't get a chance to talk about the BET Hip Hop Awards.
Mm-hmm.
Happened. I think the last couple of weeks. Excuse me, and it was word on the street was that it was very how do I say this kindly? Low budget? I
Right?
don't know. I don't know the word to use, but a lot of people are like, first of all, we didn't even know the BET Hip Hop
Right?
Awards were happening.
I had no idea.
Why? And it wasn't hosted. Typically, when BET has awards, they're usually in Atlanta or LA, but definitely Atlanta at the very least, which
Mm-hmm.
makes sense because people don't want to admit it, but Atlanta is the new epicenter of black music.
Yeah,
And
I'm
I know
hearing.
I have to admit that. It's
Yeah.
like, we don't want to think, but it just, last 10, 15 years, 10 years at least for sure, Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I know New York is trying to come back, but it is what it is.
Right? Hmm.
The truth is the truth. Truth hurts.
Well, I mean, they started taking over in what, the 2000s,
Yeah,
slowly. They creeped
slowly.
in from from the side. New York didn't pay attention too tough, but
They
they sure came in. They came, no, for real. When you think about it, in the 2000s, what, 2010 to like what, 2015, 16,
hmm
they really started to make a strong move.
Oh yeah.
Like we had Ti, all them people from the South come, or from Atlanta, coming up and making some waves in the
Oh, big
industry.
waves. Yeah, Ti definitely. Ti, sorry, and
Mm-hmm.
Ludacris kicked that door
Yup.
open like it was no.
Down the
Um.
door and smack the chick. That's what they
Okay,
did. Yeah.
they did not come to play around.
Mm-mm. None at
Okay,
all.
so basically, everybody's online is it came quietly and it left quietly. The only thing I know I saw around the topic when
Mm-hmm.
I heard buzz about it is because Trina performed and brought out Carisha. So
Mm-hmm.
that was just the only little buzz that I heard. And also the freestyle sessions were really small and like they cut them off. Like they didn't even do like a full they'd say they have this
Came
session
and
happen.
went. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, came and went. So first let's just talk about the outfits.
I do not like Carisha's outfit.
it's
That looked tacky, but you know.
and I was just trying to see if I didn't see her. There's just a lot of people I don't know on the red carpet when I actually looked up
Yeah,
red
like
carpet.
that. Yeah. Hmm.
So I was trying to, as you were talking, I was
Tiana
trying to
Taylor,
see.
though, she had some pink hair. Some pink hair. I think she was. I think she presented
She
a
was
award.
there. Oh, that's good. All right, at least she was
Um.
there.
Yeah, she looked alright. You know what the thing is, right? Is that with hip hop, BET Hip Hop Awards, I
Yeah.
just find like, I don't know, it's so casual. Like it
Mm-hmm.
just seems so casual. I was making this comment a while back when I was talking about like black award shows. Like why can't, I don't know, like I guess, hip hop is more street and urban, and so maybe it's expected to be more relaxed, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. For me, step it up a little bit. Like some people look like they were going to the club, but in this stuff here. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, which I'm not actually. I'm actually not. I'm like fine with that. I think that they hosted it in, I believe it was New York, somewhere on the East Coast. Which there's nothing wrong with that. That makes sense. But it was in a club supposedly. Supposedly a place that we consider like a big pub, a club, or a place that like artists typically perform in. It wasn't like usually like a big kind of sound stage that you'd see for an award show.
I don't know. They don't seem like they actually put forth any effort here. Maybe that's just how I'm seeing it.
That's how you're seeing it.
I don't know.
Um. So.
I've seen better award shows. That's
Oh
all.
yeah, no, it was bad. Like everybody's saying it was bad. Like I didn't even. Again, the only thing I saw was, um, what's her face, Trina bringing out Carisha, and that's the only
Mm-hmm.
thing I would watch. They had a lot of people that GloRilla came out with another rapper. I don't know who he is, and she didn't even do her song. GloRilla is like the hottest. She's one of the hottest new artists right now in hip
Mm-hmm.
hop, and she didn't. They brought her out, and she didn't perform one of her own songs. That is a little crazy to me.
Why?
Um,
That's crazy.
that's crazy. Soldier Boy was on stage for some reason. Listen, I don't know what's going on in the Soldier Boy world, but that was
Mm-hmm.
weird. E40
Mm-hmm.
performed. Two Chains, I think, performed. But anyway, a lot of people were just, let's say, disappointed. for various reasons.
Yeah.
And my thing is, when I was thinking about, and Fat Joe hosted, we didn't talk about this, but Fat Joe hosted, and I'm sure he did a great job. He's a very entertaining person, so I don't think he could do a bad job hosting. And then
Mm-mm.
so a lot of the wins came to Kendrick, which no surprise, I guess. I think that that's fair enough, I guess. Um so best hip hop video went to Kendrick Lamar, Not Like Us. I'm good with that. That makes complete sense. Um Best collaboration was Like That with Metro Boomin, Future, and Kendrick Lamar. Mm,
Hmm.
okay. I
Mm.
was just looking at the other collaborations to see if that's a fair. Ooh, it would have been too political, I guess. To Yeah, it would have been too. The only other one on this list that I feel should have been like really considered
Mm-mm.
would have been Drake and J. Cole person shooter, and that would have been too dangerous because that started off everything. Can you
Please,
imagine?
on the verge of starting this war again. Please,
Yeah.
everybody's
So
trying to start this damn war again.
right. So
Please.
those are the two songs that kind of kicked
Woo.
things off. And so the one with Kendrick won, and we know why, and that's I'm okay with that. To be honest,
Mm-mm.
best duo or group was Future and Metro Boomin. They had an album this year, which is pretty solid.
Mm-mm.
Not because of Future, but because of the production on it. Best live performer Missy, lyricist of the year, no surprise Kendrick, video director of the year of course it went to Not Like Us, Dave Free and Kendrick. Guess what song of the year was?
It has to be Kendrick.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
Not
you
like
got
us.
it. You got it. Well, here was the surprise. So everything else is Kendrick, but here's the surprise one. It was actually our Miss Nicki Minaj won Hip Hop Album of the Year for Pink Friday
Oh,
too.
okay, Miss Nikki
So
girl.
they finally, gave her something.
Yes.
Um with
Finally,
Yeah,
Miss.
and when we see all the other albums, it's like, yeah, you had right.
You
It's like
kind of
undeniable.
had to, you
They
know?
had to. They had to. So it was a hip hop album of the award was I'll just say the ones for this because that's the biggest award for that. This show would have been the
Mm-hmm.
album of the year. Album of the year is always the most important award for any award show and music award show. So it was 21 Savage, American Dream. Very good album, I would
Okay.
say. So that could have been a good contender. GloRilla, everything. Okay. Okay. Drake for all the dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Sexy Red and Sexy We Trust. Megan the Stallion, Megan. Gunna, One of One. Of course, Nicki, Pink Friday, who won. Travis Scott, Utopia. And then Future and Metro Boomin for We Don't Trust You. So yeah, Nikki was a very clear winner. The only other person I think who would have been my point of view, only everybody just Jeanette Anati's point of
Mm-hmm.
view is 21 Savage American Dream. But yeah, that was a show. I personally think they should cancel it. I'm just gonna call it the
Like,
BT Hip Hop Awards here. Because if you're not gonna do it properly, don't do it. That's my
no,
thing.
just mix it up with the BET Awards and
Be-
period.
and I say to blend it with the BET Music Awards because um that is heavily hip hop anyway too, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like this year's show BET Awards was very hip hop orient focused. So it's not like BT's not giving hip hop love already.
Exactly.
And I don't know the history of what when it came in because back in the day we had the Source Awards was the only hip hop central award show, and then maybe that's kind of where BET Hip Hop Awards were birthed from, that kind of era. But again, if you're not going to do it properly,
Right?
don't please don't do this. It was
And
very
if
ghetto. They had a
and
lot of
if
non. Go ahead.
no, go ahead. No, go. Yeah,
I was
finish
going
what
to
you
say they
said.
had a lot of. I don't want to be insulting, but there's a lot of people I didn't know. Not that my ear is all the way underneath the ground of hip hop at the moment,
Mm-hmm.
but there's a lot of like people we don't know. Like I said, it's either people who are older who we haven't seen in a while, like E40,
Yeah, and like
or
Two Chains. Sorry, no offense, but like
yeah,
Two Chains is not. okay. I think he's known more for other things than like I know he started out as a rapper and he is decent at it. Like don't get
He
me
is.
wrong,
Yes.
but I feel like he ventured out into to different things and so that's more of his brand than rapping. Like I haven't heard him on anything in a while.
I don't
You
know
know,
what he's doing with music, but
I
I'm
remember the song that he did with Drake, ASAP Rocky. Um, I think it's called "Bad Bitches," something my problem. So,
yes, yeah, yeah.
yeah, that song and Drake was on it as well. But
Mhm.
other than that, like I haven't really heard. He was on another track. Like that's the thing; it's so sporadic with him, and
Yeah.
and he takes up other ventures. You know what I mean? So it's like you're kind of known more for that. Like he has a podcast right now. I don't remember what it's called,
Mhm.
but he also had the most expensive things where he would find the most expensive
Yeah,
things and
he does a lot of like show content for Complex and
exactly right. So
mm,
I think his brand is multifaceted, which is good.
yes,
It's a
yeah.
good thing. It's a good thing, but to really look for him on the red carpet at the BET Hip Hop Awards, I don't know. I don't know if I'm looking for Two
Oh
Chains.
gosh. But yeah,
But
BT take our advice. Just add the budget to the BT Awards and make a good show.
and make
And
a nice show, one
while
big
everybody's
show.
there, one big show while everybody's there, everybody's at their best. And because I feel like people didn't take this shit serious. Maybe it was a last minute thing,
No,
I don't know. But even the way like the red carpet, it was just everything was saying this was not a serious thing.
no. Like what was the award show that Ti was on, and he looked like he was going to the cookout? What was it again? And he
I
and
can't
he had
remember.
his daughter with him, I
Ti is in
think.
a different era.
Right? And so like, but that's how this feels. Like it just feels like the cookout's not quite ready yet, and I don't know. They didn't put in enough effort. So
Mm,
don't bother. Just mix it up and make one big show, make it a big deal, make everybody come out looking their best, even if you are a rapper.
mhm.
Like whatever, who cares? I don't know. I was
Yeah.
saddened by this because it literally came and went.
It was never a show that I was like,
Back in the day, yeah,
back in the day, I would definitely check it out because BT was just the shit when I was a teen in high
right?
school. Like, come on now.
Right?
But yeah, so I think hopefully they figure out a smart way of addressing this. But I would have loved. I think the idea is they should just absorb it into the BT awards and call it a day.
Yeah, I think it would work better. Mhm.
Okay. What else do we want to talk about here? Okay. Speaking of GloRilla,
Mhm.
GloRilla, we talked about GloRilla's album Glorious last week.
Mhm.
Very solid album. Very proud of
Yeah.
her for that album. Very good body of
Yeah.
work, I think. Quality
Mhm.
music, great production.
Yeah.
A very authentic voice from
Yeah.
her.
What is that? Her debut album?
I for me it feels like it to me, but that I guess that everything album she did before, I thought that was a mixtape. I don't know if
Me too.
everything, so I'm not sure if that's a mixtape or a full album. This feels like a debut album to me, so I'm considering it the
Me too.
debut
Me
album.
too. Me too. I agree. I agree. And as a debut album, I think it's pretty good. I think it's
It's
pretty good. It's pretty
very good,
decent.
yeah.
She
Good
has
way
a
to
charm about her though.
mm.
And I think the charm even comes through her music. You know,
Oh yeah,
um
exactly.
and she is very charming. I find that she's very charming and so people the underdog and everything like that I think she's a pretty girl, but
Yes.
we'll talk
Yeah.
more about what others
So pretty
think.
much not too long after we aired our episode, we were
Mhm.
talking about the GloRilla album.
Yup.
Her makeup artist for some reason decided to post a picture of GloRilla in the middle of getting some makeup done by this particular makeup artist.
Mhm.
And I don't know what the objective was. Like when I saw it, I was like, and so she's in the middle of getting the makeup job. I mean, it did look weird, but because the makeup was like not looking good, but I'm not going to
Mm.
criticize a makeup artist when they're not done their process. So, I wasn't like, when I first scrolled past it, I didn't really think much of it. I didn't even really stop to read what was going on until after there was a lot more posts with that photo.
Mm-hmm.
And pretty much she's like, just her eyes are getting done and the base foundation is on the top of her head. And
Ah!
it is. She's just sitting there plainly. I mean, not,
Right?
nobody's, you're just sitting there bored trying to get this makeup job done. You're not going to be smiling and
Mm-hmm.
looking smizing into the camera. You're just
Right?
sitting there. And maybe the makeup artist wants to capture her process, and GloRilla was gracious enough to let her do that.
Right?
First of all, if you ask me, sorry.
Yeah.
Um, so it's almost like, so she posted a photo, um and she was defending, and she came online after, because I guess, you know I hate I'm trying to find the willpower to delete the shade room off of my feed, because it's just like, it's just the clickbait, the gaslighting certain comments, because they put that, they wanted people to chime in, they wanted people to say whether they think she looks good or not, or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
nobody
Like
looks
talk about
great,
her looks and stuff like
right?
that. Yeah.
Nope. Listen, nobody looks great, no matter how beautiful a person is, in the
Mm-hmm.
middle of having half makeup done, half
Thank
makeup
you.
off. Like, it's either your fresh face or you have the full face. And everything in between is gonna look awkward. Okay, no
Exactly.
matter where, no matter if you're traditionally
Mm-hmm.
attractive or whatever. So I was side eyeing the makeup artist. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
so GloRilla went online and started cussing with her clear, natural, beautiful face,
Right?
and said that, making it clear that her face was not the problem. You guys are acting, she's saying, you guys are acting like y'all don't see me every 2 business days without makeup is crazy.
Right?
It was just in her accent, it was just them ugly ass eyebrows, those ugly
Right?
ass eyebrows, right? Who was responsible for the eyebrows? The
Well,
makeup artist.
there we go. There we go.
And then she went on to address the makeup artist. The makeup itself was the problem. Why are you proud of this? She asked of the makeup artist behind the look. Take it down. Unfortunately, the makeup artist caught wind of the remarks and then quickly hopped online to defend herself. This makeup artist is a clown. Um,
Pretty much. And you know what? If you were trying to make her look bad, Shade Room, I think you just made her more human. I think more women can relate to her when you're getting your makeup done, you're in transition. Like, why are you taking pictures and posting in the transitions? Like, I just don't understand it. You're going from fresh face to beaded face. Like, hello, like give it a minute. Now, in terms of that makeup artist, girl, so Gorilla had said this is 2 years ago. Okay.
yes, now, yeah, I'm
And
seeing
I
that now.
hope
Yeah.
to God
Mm.
that you perfected your skill because them
Yes.
eyebrows, I don't know what
Right?
we're doing. We're about to take off with those eyebrows. I don't know. I don't know. It
Yeah, so
didn't
so
look
funny,
very good.
because so now when GloRilla went in to be like, listen, why would you even post that? Why are you proud of that to
Right?
post it? So now the makers, and that's what everybody was saying, is like, okay, you're trying to either say to me, I'm taking it as you're trying to say that GloRilla is unattractive when she's not having her makeup on, or something like that, because you couldn't be putting that to show your makeup skills. You just couldn't have been,
I
right?
hope not.
So then everybody was roasting the makeup artist, for obvious
Mhm.
reasons, because it was a shit job. It looked crazy. According to her, the makeup artist, she did GloRilla's makeup, like you said, it was a couple years ago when she was still in school and was initially excited about the opportunity. She says that she left school early for the appointment.
Rada, rada, rada. Of course you're
Yeah,
going to leave for the
and
appointment
even
early.
did her makeup 2 times after that.
Yeah, and I hope
Um,
you did it better than you did the first time where you're posting it right here because
And then she says, "I'm shocked." I even heard her say that. Like, why am I proud? Why is she proud of that? For real, you were my first celebrity client. Anybody would have been proud. I'm sure you got signed, and I'm sure when you got signed, you were proud too. You have had time to perfect your craft, just like me. No, girl, you're trying to turn this around. You're being shady.
That's what
She's
I'm
trying to no.
saying.
Don't try and be a victim right now. You as a makeup artist should have looked at it. Is this because you want clout because you did Gorilla's makeup? It doesn't matter. If you want clout and say you did a celebrity makeup, yeah, that makeup needs to look good, girl. So
If you're
even if
looking for clout, please make sure you're on point with your makeup
right,
skills. Like they have to be on point. But she was trying to drop all these excuses. I was still
mm,
in this school and
right.
I wasn't done with the schooling and whatever heifer. It wasn't good. Okay? It wasn't a good reflection of you or Gorilla. But at the end of the day, I think Gorilla looks human. A lot of women can relate to her.
mm.
So I don't think anybody did her anything, but Gorilla's not gonna just let this slide on by. So she she made sure that she put something in there, check her ass real quick about that. And I would too, because it was like, why now?
Right? Like if you were so proud of it at the moment, why didn't you post it 2 years ago?
Right?
Now when the girl is having a big shining moment for herself, releasing the album, having all these accolades, and you put this mediocre picture of her up on the internet. Oh, are you kidding
Right?
me?
And the only thing that I could possibly understand is if she showed her progression. So the
Okay, that's
beat face, the beat like a total product
mm-hmm.
from 2 years ago
Mm-hmm.
to a total product of current day. So the face that you fully beat on Gorilla 2 years
Mm-hmm.
ago to the face that you fully beat to today, then I
Mm.
can see your skill has progressed. That you have developed your stronger skills. Maybe I could understand that, but it wouldn't be just one person that you're posting. It would be a series of people that are showing a progression, a natural development and progression of your skill. So I
Mm.
could maybe understand that, but still, you didn't do all of that, and you put her on blast just to get some clout. Like, let's just call it what it
Yeah, so
is,
you want a
people.
clout, you got it. Whether it's positive or negative, you better take it, girl.
So I have breaking news. I want to tell you about this story right here,
What?
girl.
Breaking news?
We
What's
have
that?
breaking news up in here with Mr. Tory Lanez up in this.
What? What's
Yeah,
going on?
yes. So okay, Mr. Tory Lanez. So the appeals court has officially accepted Tory Lanez's innocent claim,
Okay.
giving the DA 2 weeks to respond.
Mm-hmm.
This could lead to a reinvestigation into whether Tory Lanez was unfairly prosecuted. What? Weird. Bob
Mm.
Bomb, my
What?
man, from the ashes.
From the ashes. Well,
From
you
the
know what?
ashes as we
it's
rise.
it's
My
a good
goodness.
it's a good move. It's a good it's anything is good news because he's already been convicted to be in jail for like 8 to 10 years, right?
Right?
But he's still that's still just to look at the case again. So
Right. But the fact that he's making even this much headway,
yeah, he
period.
made some headway.
He made some headway. He got the appeals court to even accept the claim, right?
Yes, so that's the
They could have
first step.
just right? They could have just laughed him out of here. But now obviously the DA will come along and show them, whatever they showed him. But the
Yeah.
fact that he even I was like, I'm here seeing
Yeah,
this
and
story
because it
pop
is a
up on my
case,
phone. I'm like, irks,
yeah, that's
Tory
is a
Lane,
that's worthy of an irks.
right?
Um, but to your point, like it because it is a DA's case and not a private citizen's case.
Exactly.
I don't know, but hey, you know what? That's the
The
first
fact that
step.
he got the appeals court to even take him seriously
Yeah, but they've been
shows that he
relent.
has a pretty good, lawyer himself.
Yeah, but he's been very relentless on the topic, as he should
Yes,
be.
yes, he has, and it's making him some headway,
Mm.
But we're gonna keep our ears to the ground with that and see what happens with Mister Tory Lanez because he's out here fighting for his
He's
freedom,
fighting for his life.
fighting for my life out here.
Yeah,
Yes.
hey, you got to do what you got
Hmm.
to do. Okay, so that was breaking news, very worthy. Oh, we were talking about Gorilla. So yeah, so anyway, Gorilla dealt with her proper, and the
Yes, she sure
the
did.
internet handled the rest. So
Hmm.
she's dealing with the repercussions. And finally, here we had oh, some good news, hip hop news. So mediocre hip hop news with the BET Hip Hop Awards, but some great
Mhm.
hip hop news. Queen Latifah and
Mhm.
Missy Elliott were recently became the first rappers to receive the National Medal of Art
Wow.
award. And I was shocked because this award was started, National Medal of Arts was created in 1984.
Mm-mm.
So even before hip hop became popular, it's been
Right?
around. And it's just interesting to me personally
Mhm.
that the first and only hip hop artists are this is coming into 2024.
Mhm.
Not of who it is, because they are more than worthy of the award,
Mhm.
but the timing is what was shocking to me, that this
Mhm.
is the first time we're gonna get hip hop acknowledgement. And so this award, if people don't know, because I had to look it up myself to educate myself, but I
Mhm.
thought it's a prestigious American honor. It's the highest honor given to artists and art
Mhm.
patrons by the United States government. Nominations
Wow.
are submitted to the National Council on Arts and the Advisory Committee of the National Endowment for Arts,
Wow. Wow.
um, who then submits the recommendations to the White House for the President of the United States to award. So you've seen
Mhm.
Obama, and you've seen some people give some awards to artists. So this is the national. So some key people, just so people know who have gotten it before.
Mhm.
Within the last since the 2000s, I'm not going to go too far. We have
Mm-mm.
Kirk Douglas, the actor, Johnny Cash, the singer.
Mhm.
Um, so it's a lot of there are musical artists. There's every type of artist on here, but we also have Robert Duvall, Dolly Parton.
Okay.
Those are the kind of art, like, people who are historically built into the um I guess, art culture, popular or not, of the United States. Clint Eastwood.
Mhm.
Um, I saw Maya Angelou. So that is, to give you an idea of the type of people that are awarded. They're classic American entertainers who have done deep work, like work that crosses every kind of boundary.
Mhm.
Even the author Stephen King, like, those are the kind of artists that get this award.
Right.
So anyway, there was a backlog of artists because of the COVID and everything going on.
Mhm.
And so this year, of the 39 recipients of the National Medal of Arts, the two first hip hop artists of any gender is Missy Elliott and Queen Latifah.
Wow. Nice.
The award ceremony took place this week, October 21st, and was a historical moment not only for them, but hip hop culture. I totally think so.
Mhm. Definitely. If it's
Uh,
just now we get in one, just now, Lux.
right?
Jeez, on, but for real, it's nice to hear that it's two black women. I'm sorry, people, I had to put that out there. We have
Yeah.
to call a spade a spade. It's two black
And
women that's holding this spot for the first time for the hip hops.
yeah,
Thank
and if we
you.
think about, like, the type of artists that have been awarded this prestigious award from the
Hmm.
president, is um they have their contributions to the culture are undeniable. It resonates not
Hmm.
only in hip hop or
Hmm.
whatever industry they're in, but beyond.
Hmm.
And both of them have had crazy careers, not only with music but fashion. Queen
Hmm.
Latifah has expanded beyond music into not only hip hop music. She did jazz. She's actually a
Hmm.
very good jazz singer,
That's right. That's right.
and theater singer, outside of, like, her doing her acting jobs and her producing, as well. And Missy was a game changer, straight up.
Pretty much.
Missy was literally, when it comes to the music of hip hop and R&B, I put her in both. She is literal genius, songwriting and producing
Literally.
genius when it comes
Literally.
to
She
hip hop
changed the
and
game.
R&B. And I personally am a fan. She was a game changer in hip hop, but people really she's undervalued or understated with what she's done with R&B. She did a lot
100%.
of unique melodies and brought a lot of new unique melodies to R&B music
That's right. I
for her
agree.
own and who she produced for. And people don't forget she wrote songs for Beyonce for that first album.
Mhm.
Um, Tink has rebranded herself, but Tink as well, and Genuine. And there's
Mhm.
one more. Leah, obviously we know Leah, but
Mhm.
there's one more. Oh, the dark skinned girl. Oops, oh my, what's her name?
Tweet. Is it Tweet?
Tweet.
Yeah.
Yes, Tweet was another one of her muses that um her R&B sound is Missy's R&B sound is heard all over her music. So
Mhm.
kudos to those women. We're very much deserved.
Very much deserved. Yes, and you know what? Missy Elliott, I want to say specifically, I've
Mhm.
always loved her music. I've
Yeah.
always thought that it was very innovative. There were times where I was like, the world's not ready for you,
They
Missy.
weren't ready. They weren't ready.
They're not. But look,
They
look
caught up to
now.
her. They caught up to her though. They weren't
Right?
ready
They
when she first
finally
came
caught
out.
up to her.
Yeah.
Finally, and she's just and Queen Latifah, I'm gonna give her props.
Yeah.
She was one of the first to ever do it.
Yeah.
So,
She was before, she was big in hip hop when we were like little tiny
yeah,
tots. So it's
literally.
hard, but we still
Literally.
know like UNNTY, there's still
Yeah,
some stuff that like went past generations,
yeah.
you know?
I think that Queen Latifah put attitude in hip
Mm.
hop, and I think she allowed a lot of women to not feel like they timid, like they can have a voice and they
Yeah.
could use it. And I'm gonna have to give Queen Latifah her props. She did stray off and do all sorts of other things. I mean, Queen Latifah, there's not one thing I can't think of this woman hasn't touched.
Mhm.
Literally,
Mhm. Yeah.
she's touched every genre of the entertainment business, like
Mm.
literally. And so I'm so happy to see that they actually did get this medal. And from what you were explaining to me, it is one of the higher medals that they could possibly get in their career. And so it's nice to see that they're being honored this way and they're getting their flowers, man, because they
Mm.
deserve it. They deserve it. You know, these are not women that slept their way to the top.
Mm.
They worked their way to the top. You know what I'm saying? They worked their way hard to the top. So it's nice to see that that they are being recognized. But with all that said, we are going to wrap up this show, and it's been a blast.
Mhm.
But we do hope that your hearts and minds were activated on this week's show. So whether you lead with your heart or your mind, please stay passionate and thoughtful. And we'll talk to you real soon. Bye.
Bye.